Hi, I'm Felicia Cameron, a licensed clinical social worker from the great hospitality state of Mississippi, and welcome to Tuesday Talk with a Therapist, myself. Look, today on Tuesday Talks, I want to talk about coping with the secret. What is the secret? Well, on last week, I talked about what is a secret. The secret of suicide. And I started on last Tuesday talking about suicide. So if you didn't catch last Tuesday, I encourage you to go back to Tuesday Talks and get information about suicide. On today, I'm going to be talking about coping with the secret, which is suicide. See, many times when someone is thinking about suicide or has suicide ideations or thoughts, they think they can do it on their own. But I do want to encourage you and let you know that when you know someone who has suicidal thoughts or ideations, that they cannot do it on their own. They need a professional. Seeing a physician, a psychiatrist, or a therapist, a counselor, but you need professional help to help you overcome those suicidal thoughts. Another way of coping with suicidal ideation is go to your appointments. There you have medical appointments, your therapy appointments, and many times you feel like I just don't want to go. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be there. But that's when the time you need to press in even the more to go to your appointments. Another way of coping, take your medication. Take your medication the way it's prescribed. Look, uh, you on different medicine and you need to make sure you follow the instructions of your medicine because suddenly stopping your certain medication can also increase those suicidal thinking and thoughts. So we want to make sure that if you on any antidepressant medicines, that you want to make sure you're in compliance and taking medicine and not just abruptly stop. Another way of coping is learn about your condition. Learning about what are you dealing with, because process of learning with everything we have available at our fingertips, it's just a matter of searching the information out and researching. So learn about your condition. Learn about the treatments for your condition, the causes and treatment. That may be why, for instance, you're dealing with depression, with suicidal thoughts. Well, let me learn more about depression. What causes depression? What are the treatment options for depression? Another coping is pay attention to warning signs or triggers. Talking with your doctor or therapist for y'all to come up to identify what are your warning signs or triggers for suicidal feelings or thoughts. If that can be like at a certain season or a certain time, those thoughts increase, or a certain holiday, that thoughts increase. But sitting down and talking with someone to help identify what are my triggers, truly, it helps someone to help you process what are your triggers for those suicide feelings and thoughts you have. And not just only identify what are your triggers, but what are we going to do? What is a plan? When those triggers come, what are we going to do? So this will be a good time. Some people call it a plan, safety plan. But what's the plan? When these triggers come upon me, what's the plan? Do I have the number to a suicide hotline? Do I have a person that I will call and talk to? Do I have someone house that I will go over there, come on my house? What is the plan? What I'm gonna do when those triggers come upon me, and to avoid me acting upon those triggers, what is the plan? Do I know is the plan is to immediately when this happened that go to the local emergency room, ER? But what is the plan? And not only that, but other people know the plan, and the plan is written somewhere and posted somewhere so easily so you can know. Because during those times, um, you need it to be very visible so you'll know when those triggers come, how do I execute the plan. And look, also, another way to cope when you have suicidal, when someone has suicidal in thoughts, eliminate, get rid of all potential means where a person can hurt themselves or kill themselves. So, for instance, there's firearms around, potential harmful ways to hurt themselves. There, we don't want if someone's dealing with suicidal thoughts, and then there's a gun cabinet. Okay, it's like when the thoughts come, and they have the means, the weapons, or several bottles of medicine for those who may want to overdose or take some medicine. We want potential for overdose. We want to make sure we eliminate the means for that to happen. If that means that I have to have a number of medicines around me, or someone come and help me with my medicine, or that means that even though if you believe in having a weapon in your home for protection, if that means that you may have to have somebody else keep that weapon for you at that time, because at this time you having triggers is increasing, and that person might not know what they might do, but if they have that access to that weapon there, and they could potential attempt suicide or commit suicide. So let's eliminate those potential harms around us. Uh, uh, Another way of cope is get in a support group. Yes, even in the midst of a pandemic, they have support groups, whether somewhere you can meet face to face or online. But get in a support group, form your own support group. But there's people like you who's dealing with suicide thoughts, the ways that you can cope, and that you can hear how other people are coping, how they dealing with, just to get yourself out of yourself to a support group to help you. So get in a support group. Look, for suicide thoughts, if it's not a crisis, it can be treatment, can be outpatient, like counseling. But if it is a crisis, that's where you need to get help immediately, such as going to a local emergency room, the hospital, if it is a crisis, or crisis hotline. But treatments can be inpatient, outpatient care, medications. If there is other causes for suicide thoughts, like if you're dealing with alcohol and drug addictions, maybe that might include some detox program or self-help group. But overall, you don't have to go in this alone. And the secret about suicide is that many people, hear me clear, many people deal with suicide thoughts. Yeah. Now, they might not act upon it, but it come across to a lot of people's mind. And if you know someone who's dealing with suicide thoughts, or yourself suicide thoughts, the first coping technique that I said is get professional help. Get professional help. Okay? That person cannot do this on their own. So I encourage you to get professional help. Look, Tuesday Talks with a Therapist, we talk about things that are serious that you deal with. We talk about life, everyday life, because yes, it's safe when you're in the therapy room talking with someone, but I talk to you and help provide you the tools that what you're going to do with when you leave outside of the four walls of therapy, because that's where life happens. So I want to provide you the tools and techniques to live where life happens. Okay? Make sure you get some professional help. I'm available as well for counseling, outpatient counseling service, but get professional help. And if you know someone dealing with this, give them professional help. I will encourage this information be shared out. And I will see you next time with Tuesday Talk with a Therapist. Myself, Felicia.